You've been sitting there, holding on to this dream, this vision, this calling in your heart, and you're still waiting for someone to tap you on the shoulder and say, okay, now you can go. Now you can do it. But let me tell you something. That day may never come. Nobody's coming with a golden ticket. Nobody's showing up with a certificate that says, you are now officially ready. You've got to stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for a sign. Stop waiting for someone to validate what's already inside of you. The truth is, you already know you're supposed to do it. You already feel it in your bones. The problem is, you keep asking for confirmation from people who don't have the capacity to see what's inside of you. You think you need someone to approve you, but you don't. You think you need them to agree with your dream, but you don't. Because here's the truth. Most people won't understand it. Most people can't see it. And it's not because it's not real. It's because it was given to you, not to them. They can't see the picture that's in your head. They can't feel the fire that's in your chest. They can't hear the voice that keeps whispering, go for it. That's yours. That's between you and the one who gave you the vision. So why are you still asking for their permission? The longer you wait for someone to tell you you're ready, the longer you'll sit in the same place, watching other people live the life you were meant to live. Because while you're waiting for permission, someone else is just getting started. They don't have it all figured out. They don't have all the resources. They're not even the most talented. But they've got one thing you haven't activated yet. They've decided to move without permission. And I get it. You're scared. You're afraid to mess up. You're afraid people will talk. You're afraid to fall flat on your face. But let me tell you, even if you fall, you're still ahead of the person who never got off the couch. Even if you make mistakes, you're still learning, still growing, still moving forward. Sitting still might feel safe, but it's actually the most dangerous place to be. Because nothing changes in safety. Nothing grows in comfort. You have to be willing to step out without a guarantee. You have to be okay with not knowing every detail, not seeing the whole staircase, not having all the answers. That's where faith comes in. That's where courage is built. And that's where you discover that you're capable of way more than you ever imagined. Think about it. Every major breakthrough in history happened because someone stopped waiting for permission. They went against the grain. They broke the rules that were holding them back. They said, if nobody's going to open the door, I'm going to build my own. And the funny thing is, once they made it happen, those same people who doubted them started asking, how did you do it? See, people rarely believe in you before you make it happen. But you can't live your life based on their belief. You've got to move on your own belief. Some of you have been sitting on books that need to be written, businesses that need to be started, songs that need to be sung, visions that need to be brought to life. But you keep telling yourself, when the timing is right, I'll start. Let me help you. The timing will never feel right. It will never be perfect. You will never feel completely ready. And that's okay. You don't need perfect. You just need to begin. Because the moment you start, momentum starts working for you. Doors start opening. Opportunities start showing up. People start taking you seriously. Not because you waited, but because you moved. You have to understand Life rewards action. Not intention, not potential, not one day. You can have all the potential in the world, but if you keep waiting for the right moment, you're going to look up in 5 years and realize you're in the exact same spot with nothing to show for it but regret. And regret is heavier than failure. At least with failure, you learn. At least with failure, you can get back up and try again. But regret will keep you awake at night, wondering what could have been if you just had the courage to start. Stop telling yourself you're not ready. You don't get ready and then start. You start and then you get ready along the way. You grow into the role. You learn as you go. That's how every single person who's ever done something great has done it. They didn't start as experts. They became experts because they started. And here's the thing. The world isn't going to slow down for you. Opportunities won't wait forever. Every day you hesitate is another day someone else is building the thing you dreamed of. So what are you waiting for? For them to clap for you. For them to tell you it's okay. For the perfect conditions. That's not how it works. You've got to clap for yourself. You've got to tell yourself it's okay. You've got to move, even if the conditions aren't perfect. You don't need anyone's permission to chase your dream, to change your life, to step into your calling. The only permission you need is your own. The only approval you need is the one you give yourself. And once you decide you're worthy, once you decide you're ready enough, you'll realize that the biggest barrier was never them. It was you. So stop waiting. Start moving. Because the moment you do, you'll look back and wonder why you ever hesitated in the first place. Why not you? Some of you are carrying your past like it's a prison sentence, like it's a life label that can never be removed. You've convinced yourself that because you've made mistakes, because you've been through failure, because you've taken wrong turns, you're automatically disqualified from building the life you dream about. But hear me, your past is not a prophecy. It's a chapter, not the whole book. Where you've been doesn't have to dictate where you're going. The problem is, too many people let their history become their identity. They start saying things like, I'm just not that kind of person, or I've always been this way, or people like me don't get those kinds of breaks. That's not truth. That's conditioning. That's you rehearsing the old story so many times that you've started to believe it's who you are. But you are not your failures. You are not your bad decisions. You are not your mistakes. You are the person who survived them. Think about it. Every single thing you've been through could have broken you. But you're still here. You've been through loss, and you're still here. You've been lied on, and you're still here. You've been disappointed, embarrassed, maybe even humiliated, and you're still here. That means you didn't just endure. You overcame. And if you overcame before, you can overcome again. I need you to stop treating your past like a prison and start treating it like a classroom. The past is supposed to teach you, not trap you. Every mistake you've made came with a lesson. Every failure you experienced came with insight. Every wrong turn showed you something about yourself, about life, about what you need to do differently next time. But you can't take the lesson if you keep staring at the pain. You can't step into your future if you keep dragging your past into every conversation, every decision, every opportunity. You know why so many people never step into the life they want? It's not because they're not talented enough. It's not because they're not smart enough. It's because they keep replaying the old movie in their head over and over again. They keep watching the moments they wish they could change, the conversations they wish they handled differently, the opportunities they wish they didn't miss. And the more they watch that movie, the more they start to believe that's all there is for them. But you have to understand, the past is over. You can't go back and rewrite it, but you can choose how the next chapter unfolds. Stop thinking you've got to erase your past to be worthy of your future. You don't. You don't need to be flawless to be impactful. In fact, it's your scars that will give you credibility. People connect with your broken places, not your perfection. They relate to your journey, not just your victories. So instead of hiding your past, own it. Let it be the evidence that you're stronger than what tried to break you. Let it be the reason someone else believes they can make it too. You have to make a decision today that you're not going to let yesterday's version of you have power over tomorrow's version of you. Because every time you say, I can't because of what happened, you're letting a moment in your history dictate your destiny. And that's too much power to give to something that's already behind you. Listen, your past may have shaped you, but it doesn't have to define you. Yes, it may have built some of your character. Yes, it may have taught you some things the hard way, but it's not the final word on who you are or what you're capable of. You have the ability right now to decide that you're going to write a new story. And here's the thing about new stories. They don't require you to erase the old ones. They just require you to turn the page. And I know some of you are thinking, it's not that easy. And you're right. It's not. Forgiving yourself is hard. Moving on is hard. Believing again after you've been disappointed is hard. But staying stuck in the same pain year after year is harder. Living in regret is harder. Waking up every day knowing you're capable of more, but refusing to try because you're chained to your past. That's the hardest thing of all. You've got to be willing to release it. You've got to be willing to say, yes, I messed up. Yes, I failed. Yes, I did some things I wish I hadn't done. But that's not who I am anymore. You've got to give yourself permission to evolve. You've got to give yourself the grace to grow. If you can't let go of the old you, you can't step into the new you. And here's the truth. People may try to hold you to your past. They may still see you as the person you used to be. They may remind you of the mistakes you made. But that's because they're still reading an old chapter. That's not your problem. Let them read it. You're busy writing the next one. You're too focused on where you're going to keep debating about where you've been. So today, I need you to stop saying, why me? And start saying, why not me? Not because your past is spotless, but because your future is still spotless. It's still unwritten. And everything you've been through, the good, the bad, the ugly, can be used to make it even more powerful. Your past may be part of your story, but it's not your whole story. The pen is still in your hand. Why not you? Every person you admire, every success story you've ever been inspired by, every champion you've ever looked up to, they all started exactly where you are right now. They didn't have all the answers. They didn't have it all mapped out. They didn't have every resource lined up neatly in place. What they did have was a decision to take what they had, where they were, and move forward without knowing exactly how it would all work out. That's the thing most people miss. Greatness doesn't start at the top. It starts in the trenches. It starts in obscurity. It starts when no one is watching, no one is clapping, no one is validating you. Too many people think the people who made it had some magical advantage, some secret opportunity that nobody else could get. But if you actually look at their stories, you'll see that most of them began with nothing but an idea and a willingness to work. They weren't born ready. They became ready because they started. They weren't experts. They learned through doing. They weren't fearless. They acted in spite of their fear. That's the common denominator. Not privilege, not luck, but courage and consistency. When you see someone on stage, when you see them on top of their game, when you see them living the life you wish you had, you're looking at the end result of years of invisible work. You're seeing the highlight reel, not the behind the scenes grind. You didn't see the nights they stayed up, the mornings they got up before the sun, the countless times they wanted to quit, but didn't. You didn't see the sacrifices they made, the friends they lost, the doors that slammed in their faces. But all of that happened. And guess what? You can go through it too. The difference between them and you isn't talent. It's that they decided to start anyway. I hear people say all the time, if I had what they had, I could do it too. No, if you did what they did, you could do it too. It's not about resources, it's about resourcefulness. They took what little they had and stretched it. They turned scraps into stepping stones. They refused to let what they didn't have stop them from using what they did have. And you have the same ability. You've got a mind. You've got breath in your body. You've got ideas. You've got the ability to learn. That's enough to start. You've got to stop disqualifying yourself because of where you are right now. You've got to stop believing the lie that you're behind or that it's too late for you. Some of the most successful people in history didn't find their stride until their 30s, 40s, or even later. They didn't see their first breakthrough until after years of failure. They didn't get recognized until they had been overlooked 100 times. And when it finally happened, people called them overnight successes. But the truth is, there's no such thing as overnight success. Only years of persistence that nobody talks about. The reason they made it is because they stopped comparing their day one to someone else's day 100. They understood that everyone has a starting point, and it doesn't matter if yours looks small or insignificant. A seed looks small too, but once it's planted and watered, it becomes something much greater than its size suggests. You are that seed. What you have right now may not look like much, but if you plant it, nurture it, and protect it, it will grow. And here's the part most people don't want to hear. Starting where you are means you're going to have to endure some things. You're going to have to face rejection. You're going to have to live through seasons where nobody notices you. You're going to have to put in work without applause. And that's okay. Because in those seasons, you're building the foundation that will hold up your future success. If you skip those seasons, you skip the strength you need to sustain what's coming. Everybody wants the glory, but few want the grind. Everybody wants the victory, but few are willing to endure the process. But the people you admire, they embraced the process. They didn't wait until they felt ready. They didn't wait until the perfect moment. They took imperfect action over and over again until they got it right. And you can do the same thing. You don't need to have all the answers before you start. You just need to start. You've got to make peace with being a beginner. You've got to be okay with not being the best at first. You've got to stop letting the fear of looking foolish keep you from taking the first step. The people at the top of their game were once amateurs too. They once stumbled through their first attempts, made embarrassing mistakes, and doubted themselves. But they kept going, and that's what made the difference. It's easy to think they're special, but the truth is, they're just human, just like you. They have fears, doubts, insecurities, and flaws, just like you. They just chose to act anyway. They didn't let the starting point define the ending point. And that's exactly the mindset you need to carry. Stop thinking your journey has to look like someone else's. Stop thinking you need their circumstances to create your breakthrough. You don't. All you need is the courage to start where you are and the discipline to keep going when it gets hard. If you do that, one day people will look at you and think you had some kind of advantage, when in reality, the only advantage you had was that you decided to believe it was possible for you. Why not you? There's something in you that nobody else has. I'm not talking about talent in a general sense. I'm talking about your exact mix of experiences, perspectives, skills, and stories. The way you see the world, the way you connect with people, the way you solve problems, the way you've been shaped by both the good and the bad in your life. That combination exists in only one person on this planet, you. And if you don't bring it out, it will never exist in the world. That means if you hold back something unique, something powerful, something that could change somebody's life, will be lost forever. The truth is, the world isn't just waiting for another talented person. It's waiting for you, your voice, your energy, your authenticity. People might not even realize they need it until they hear it, see it, feel it. There's someone out there right now who can only receive what they need in the way that you give it. The problem is we underestimate the weight of what we carry because we're so close to it. We live with our own gifts every day. So we start to think they're nothing special. But to someone else, what comes naturally to you could feel like a miracle. That's why it's dangerous to keep what you have locked away, waiting for the perfect time, the perfect skill level, or the perfect audience. Perfection isn't the goal. Impact is. And impact doesn't come from holding back. It comes from showing up, even when you feel unqualified. And let's be honest, you've been through too much. You've learned too much. You've grown too much to keep all of that to yourself. You didn't survive all those storms just to sit quietly in the corner. You didn't climb out of those valleys just to act like you've never been there. You didn't learn those lessons just for your own benefit. All of it, the highs, the lows, the wins, the losses, was building something in you that someone else needs. If you ever wonder whether you matter, remember this: the fact that you're still here is proof that you're not done. You have something to contribute. You have something to release into the world, and no one else can release it exactly like you. You've got a role to play that's bigger than your insecurities, bigger than your past, bigger than your excuses. So you've got to stop disqualifying yourself before the race even starts. Stop telling yourself you don't have what it takes. You have exactly what it takes to do your thing, the way only you can do it. You don't have to be the loudest, the most talented, or the most recognized. You just have to be real. People are starving for real. I want you to understand this. The gift inside you is not for you alone. It's meant to be given away. It's meant to serve, to inspire, to heal, to lead. And when you hide it, you're not just robbing yourself of the life you could have, you're robbing someone else of the breakthrough they could have had because of you. There's somebody out there who's going to look at your life and say, if they can do it, I can do it. There's somebody who's going to find hope in your story. There's somebody who's going to be set free because you chose to speak, to act, to share, to create. And that somebody might never get that if you decide to sit this one out. So when that little voice in your head says, why me? You've got to flip it. You've got to say, why not me? Why not be the one who steps up? Why not be the one who changes things? Why not be the one who shows up fully as themselves and makes the impact only they can make? You have what it takes. You always have. Why not you?